Hi, I'm Sarah. Today I'm going to be talking to you about yoga blocks. We're going to go over 5 different yoga poses using the blocks that are going to align, deepen, and enhance your yoga practice. Let's get started. A couple myths about yoga blocks is that people believe that maybe you are bad at yoga if somebody hands you a yoga block during your practice, but that's definitely not the case. Yoga blocks will help lift you up, bringing the ground closer to you, helping you open up and expand in different poses. So there are 3 different heights that you can use during your yoga practice to help you in each pose. The first level is the lowest level, then you can go up to a medium level, and then the highest level depending on what you need for each pose. So the first pose we're going to talk about is chaturanga. There's 2 different ways you can use a block in this pose. The first way is you take a block, you stick it in between your thighs and you hug in. This engages your core and helps uplift you in the pose. The next way we're going to use the block is having it placed underneath your chest to support you in chaturanga. So you would come into plank, hug everything in, rock forward, lower down, and the block protects my shoulders from lowering too much. When you lower too much in a chaturanga, you could really injure your shoulders. So it's important to have that block there to help train your body not to go too low and to support you so you don't go down to the ground. The next pose we're going to talk about is seated forward fold. Again, there are 2 different ways we're going to use a block in this pose. The first way is actually sitting on the block, just like this. This will help tilt your pelvis forward, creating space in your hips to reach forward. So we're going to reach up, fold forward, hinging from the lower back, grab onto wherever you can, and relax. The next way that we can use a block will actually intensify the pose, and you will remove this one from underneath you, taking this block, reaching forward, placing it behind your feet, hinging forward, bending your knees if you need to, and relax. The next pose we're going to do is bridge. There's 2 ways we're going to use the block. The first way is for a supported bridge. This will help uplift us, giving us that support we need underneath our lower back. So I'm going to come into bridge pose, placing my feet as close to my low back as possible. Taking my block, again, you can do whatever level you need, whether it's low, medium, or high. I like to do a medium. So I'm going to stick it underneath my tailbone, roll my shoulders under, and breathe. This creates an uplifting sensation from my back in a supportive way. The next way we're going to use the block is taking it and sticking it in between our thighs. Doing this helps engage my core, my legs, and it grounds me down to lift up. So I'm squeezing the block, hugging everything in, skin to bone to muscle, lifting up, pressing my hands and my feet into the ground while hugging the block. The next pose we're going to talk about is pigeon pose. This is a super intense pose that is going to feel different for everybody, and each side is going to be different. So that's where the blocks come in. We can use our blocks in various ways wherever we need in this pose. The first way that I'm going to use a block, coming into pigeon, my hips are rocking side to side. They don't feel very balanced. So to support my hip, I'm going to take the block, stick it underneath here to lift me up and balance me out. Then if I wanted to come into sleeping pigeon, I could start to lean forward, grabbing another block, placing it to support my head, creating a little bit more comfort in this pose. So the last pose that we're going to talk about is triangle pose. This pose also has many misconceptions where people believe that you're trying to reach down to touch your toes, but the truth is you want to be lifting up and out as much as you can, like you're inside a toaster oven. So the block is super helpful in this pose. So I'm going to take my block, get into triangle stance, reach forward, plant it down on the outer edge of my foot, using the block to lift me up and out. Again, we have 3 different levels of the block. So this would be the medium height. The lower height, I'm not quite tall enough for that. Opening up, And the tallest level really helps me to lift up and open out comfortably.